Hello, hello everyone. Happy Sunday and thank you for being here. Hello, say hello on the chat because I can't see you, but I can feel you. And I can see the numbers over there. Hi, Doris. Thank you. Thank you. Hello to everybody. Yeah, hello to everybody. So here we are for our Just Breathe Live session of the month, every second Sunday of each month. Hello, Krisha! You're here! Okay, so hi, Gregor, Katarina, Eda. Hello. Well, so yeah, Lady TC was someone that made it for me on account of a text I wrote on the Crimson Circle page, and I found it really funny. When I wrote about how I came across this very chair I'm sitting in, which I call a throne, and then someone did that picture for me. Hi, Serena and Matea. Hello. Okay, so let's kick it off. Move on with our Just Breathe. And today I will look at the victim abuser riddle, let's call it like that, and trust and safe space. So these are basically they all tie into each other, really. And to begin, I'm going to grab something that Matea actually shared with me this week, which was in order to bring about a perspective over that, about the games between the female and the male, so which are in ourselves as the feminine and masculine, but outside show themselves as gender games. Anyway, but first, before anything else, really important, let's take a deep breath. Let's just come into this special, serene space, this special stillness within. And within the breath, as you inhale deeply through the nose and also exhale through the nose, notice that as you come into the breath, gradually it becomes very silent. Any noise, any distraction just quietens down. And the main reason for that, is compassion. It's because when we come into the breath, into our center, into our home within us, we come into the space where there is no judgment. The 0 point, the point of equanimity, where you can really be the observer, realizing how your interactions have been unfolding, embracing, integrating, and then choosing again for your new interactions. And as you breathe and stay in this home within you, all of your interactions can be coming from this space where there is no predetermination, where you are just discovering moment to moment. And we all know that discovering can be challenging because we have so many flags and signposts saying what things are supposed to be, even when we have not been there or experienced that. And actually, we have never been in any one moment because each moment is new and unique. So we have never really been there before. How does that feel to you as you breathe and stay? To realize you have never been in each unique now moment because it only happens now and cannot be replicated. It can expand. Your next now moment can expand from this now moment, but no two moments will be the same. So I invite you to just empty your vessel as you breathe. It's by coming into this space of compassion where there is no judgment, no predefinition, that you can really integrate any experience from the past, no matter how painful it has been. Because you're not jumping into the experience. You're not living it all over again. You're inviting it to come here where it's safe, here where you are present, here where you have chosen to be the responsible adult in charge. And so it becomes so much simpler to face any memory, any experience from your past without the preconceived idea that it's going to be hard, that that's the hard way. Why? Why is it the hard way? How can being fully present in absolute compassion, in the stillness and wisdom and infinite love within you be the hard way? So in this moment, as you relax into you, I invite you to open your eyes if they were closed. So I'll jump into the theme that I was gonna bring up. So I was asked to share wisdom around why do powerful women, and this has been happening throughout history and keeps on happening now, still experience such abuse from men in power? So this was the question that I was asked to expand on. And the first thing I said in response to that question was, and I'll say it again, why does that bother you? Because the thing is that each thing that we see is us happening outside. The things that we see and touch us and bother us, or somehow make us feel uneasy, they are us happening outside. And I shared in another live session, not to Just Breathe, in the enlightening conversations of last month, that the big theme right now is really releasing the masculine from its bondage. The masculine in each one of us that has been the perpetrator many times of unnameable abuse. But if the victim, which is many times the feminine within us, is screaming for revenge or for justice to be made, screaming out to be heard, to be rescued from her plight, then he cannot end the game. So basically, these situations that are happening for two reasons. One is because each one of us has their own journey. So each one of these women who are living these cases of extreme abuse, and there are men living these too. So now I'm saying this here because this was the theme that I was asked to share about. Each human living whatever plight they are living it for a reason, for a purpose, either because in their past, in other lifetimes, eventually, or this one, they have been the perpetrator, the abuser, and now have chosen to be the abused one to realize what it feels like and to choose differently, to say, no, I've had enough. So each one is on their own journey, experiencing whatever each one needs to experience in their own realm of existence in order to transcend the limited perspective of being separate. And on the other hand, each of these women that are suffering these great forms of abuse, even now in our days, are also consciousness raisers. They serve to raise consciousness around this. And they do, you see, because they trigger something in certain people, in you, in whoever. They trigger something. And that is precious. Because it's only when we really feel triggered that we realize that we have something in there that needs recognition, that needs love, that needs acceptance. And so, if by any chance it makes you feel sick to see how there's still so much abuse going on, please allow yourself to look at the abuser inside of you in the eye. Because he, well, she in the form of victim, he in the form of abuser, but it's all the same thing. Because there's no separation between victim and abuser. It's just saying, when can we be done with this? I can't take this burden any longer. Will you be capable of accepting me no matter what? Right here, right now. Will you be capable of embracing me? Even though I have done what I have done. Can you forgive me? And until this forgiveness is authentic within you, you will always feel guilty. And you will always have to blame. And you will always feel ashamed. Yes, there have been some pretty gory, sordid things happening on Earth. And there still are a lot. To what extent are you willing right now to embrace this within you? And to realize that the cause is simply separation. And then, trying to make sense of nonsense doesn't make any sense at all. So whenever you come across a situation that is completely senseless, even making an effort to try and understand it is feeding the situation. You are not serving as the standard that you have chosen to be here for. You're just feeding the situation with your dramatic point of view. Yeah. It's a little hard maybe to accept this, but from your expanded consciousness, that if you can, whenever you come across a really hard situation to accept in the news, someone telling a story of something that happened, if you can be still in your compassionate space, not trying to take sides, not trying to defend anyone, not trying to save anyone, just stay. with all the love in you, knowing the truth. And the truth is that only by being in compassion and embracing that as part of the world around you, if it weren't, you wouldn't come across those pieces of news or hear those stories. If it crosses your perception, it's part of your reality. Embrace it. Yes, it might feel sad. Good. That is the pathway to go into the separation, the guilt, and to really, really, really allow yourself to be forgiven. Only your essence, your divine essence, can forgive. Why? Because it doesn't even have to. It has never even had a judgment about the situation. So by bringing this into you, you serve as a distiller. You distill all of the distortion until it becomes neutral, until that energy is freed. Again, neutral, open, available for new potentials. It's pretty challenging, isn't it? To get out of your own way so much that each time you feel impelled to judge something harshly, you just bring yourself into compassion and embrace. I invite you to take a deep breath with this. To really breathe it in. Really, really come in. To that space in you where there is no fear. Where there is no judgment. Where there is infinite love, peace, joy, wisdom. And the question arose within this theme, okay, so it might be related to some other lifetime, maybe. Do I need to remember? The thing you don't need to do is make an effort to remember. But to allow yourself to remember if necessary, and to remain open for that without resistance. Knowing that your past cannot come and engulf you and annihilate you. You cannot be killed. I'm sure you know this by now. Nothing can destroy you. You've been through enough to know that. And you do. You know that. You know, there's this interesting paradox with fear. Because fear exists to make us feel safe. But it is the unsafest space to be. Isn't that funny? Fortunately. Because it feels so unsafe that one day we realize, wait a minute, I have to find something else. And then we allow ourselves to fall deeper into ourselves and to find a different space that really feels safe. That is not driven by fear, by survival, by instinct. A space where we know of our eternity, and there we realize, oh, this has just been the reverse of love. Pretty painful sometimes, that's true. So what if next time you feel fear, you walk into it knowing that love is there? That because it is just the reverse of love, that if you walk into fear without a doubt, in complete trust, then you know that the only thing you can find ultimately is love. Now it's a whole different thing going into life in fear. Because fear is a frequency of consciousness that attracts a certain frequency of energy. So you cannot not attract things that don't bring fear if you are in fear. Yeah. It's just the way things work. But what if you were to, before going into whatever experience you are afraid of, go into the fear and let it implode into love as it sinks deep into your center? Then you will be changing the frequency, and therefore energy can serve you in a different kind of way. It's really interesting how simple things are, isn't it? But then how hard it is to really get it. And in fact, it's a holistic approach, because there is no way here, as an incarnated human being, that you can fully integrate anything without bringing it into your experience. Yeah. That's why so many times people go through years and years of psychotherapy or whatever kind of healing modalities they choose to overcome trauma. But then, an action is needed that goes a different way. That action will be the tipping point where you show the traumatized part, which is just waiting. Now it's been acknowledged, it's been analyzed, viewed, whatever you want, but it's just there waiting for you to walk your talk, to take action. What does that mean? To do things differently. Now, if you keep on talking about compassion and love and all of those things, and there's this part of you that you just can't stand, that just keeps on getting on your nerves, what the hell are you doing? You're not walking your talk. Because when in action something seemingly went wrong and then that part of you is there sort of nagging at you, you get angry instead of coming into compassion. So you do the same thing all over again. And then you ask yourself, why does this keep on happening? Why can't I transcend this fear? Because you're not allowing love to shine through. Yeah, and love is not selective. It shines through anything. That's why there is no judgment in there. Much to the disheartenment of the human that would like to separate things that are acceptable and others that are not. Love is not selective. Now, that does not mean that you're going to accept, for instance, people's disrespect of your time, your space, your money, whatever, your wisdom. No, doesn't mean that. In fact, bringing that up and saying, no, sorry, I won't do that, or I can't go that way, or whatever, in that act of self-respect is taking action, is showing that part of you that was afraid of being abused or whatever, that you are for real. That now things are really going to be different. So this thing about love not being selective is not something for the mind to figure out. It's really something to digest. Because then it all boils down to trust. Now, so if you really trust that your essence, your soul, when you listen to it and follow through with its indication, can only bring you the very best. Why would anything in your life not be accepted back home? Why would anything or any part of you not be admitted into the very best? Because only the very best in you can transmute everything else. So it's a question of knowingness. Knowing. And trusting the knowingness that you will be provided You will be provided abundantly with everything you need once you allow this trust to be your choice and your guiding principle. And even when dealing with extremely challenging situations, if you still your mind, you still your judgment about those situations, and breathe. The situation will instantly be transmuted. Because the wisdom of the love within you will provide another option. Yeah. Simple, isn't it? And when your essence shows you a solution, accept it first time over. Otherwise, you're making your life hard. Because then the mind kicks in and starts trying to define why that solution is not the right solution. And why you are probably not listening properly, and why you have to make an effort to find another solution because that was just too simple. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You know it doesn't. Yeah. And within this sequence of trust, surrender, forgiveness, love, setting the abuser free so that the victim is no longer necessary. And of course, stopping the pattern of viewing as a victim so that the abuser is no longer necessary. It all happens at the same time. Within this sequence. And because it's all related to how much abundance can you allow yourself to live. And I'm talking about abundance in all forms. In all forms, material and immaterial. But because money is usually quite an issue, I'm going to invite you, if you'd like, after we finish, to really look at this question. Are you afraid of being rich? What does that represent to you? How many belief systems do you have still running their recordings around what it means to be rich. And of course, rich here is meant in the literal sense of whatever it means, whatever amount of money would mean to you that you're rich. So it can be different amounts for different people. But then again, of course, life itself is so rich when allowed from the essence that you see it's really a question of belief systems. Is it the power games that frighten you? Is it the responsibility? Is it standing out from the crowd, being opulent, different, whatever? And so I'm not saying that everyone has to be rich. I'm just inviting. Eventually your essence might be inviting you into richer and richer and richer experiences. And you might be cringing and contracting because it seems too much. And then getting yourself entertained and entangled with things that don't bring in that much money or which keep you sort of mainly invisible. Don't be afraid to pay taxes, because really, if you have more than enough, it doesn't really matter, does it? So, honestly, really honestly, the question would be, are you afraid to be sovereign? Because then being sovereign is connected to kings and queens and all of that stuff from our past lifetimes. How many belief systems are around there? Because the thing is, we keep on saying that integrating our essence is being sovereign. Being sovereign is connected to being rich. Being rich is connected to whatever for you. And then that's why this just seems to be like a game that goes on, always perpetuating the victim and abuser. And never really, really, really assuming I am God also. What is there that God cannot provide? Yeah, in the past you've thought, nothing really. God does not provide for me because I'm living this stupid life that's full of suffering and all of that. Yeah, you've thought that, but in that time you were separate. Now, truly and honestly, from the core of you, from your knowingness of what divine means, what is there that God cannot provide? How far are you abusive of all that you have been given, be it wisdom, solutions, abundance in all forms, and you have seen it, you have gotten it, and you have rejected it because you thought you're not good enough, not worthy, because there's still this big masculine wound saying, I have done wrong, I must suffer. And of course the big feminine wound saying, you have done wrong, you must suffer. I have suffered so much on account of you. Yeah. Can these voices finally find the peace of your knowingness? You are the provider of all of your solutions. It's not about what others think if you do this or that or whatever. It's not about others, because they really are just you in your reality. You are the template. You are the standard of a new human. A human that is not separate. That is not playing out as a victim or as an abuser or savior. You are the template of that, as you are that for you. And once you are being that for you, then you are at service, providing that for all of those who would like to be that too. Or at least find a little bit of an easier journey, a more gentle, more loving one, where survival is not necessarily the rule of the strongest. So let's just breathe with that. Breathe and stay. And as you breathe, I would like you to feel this. When your whole existence becomes a prayer, just like living a prayer, you cannot not pray for all, because you are being that. Then you are the prayer, and your life is a constant blessing. You're breathing out glimmers of love and trust and joy and beauty and harmony and balance. all around you. And if any belief systems come up that are related to being a prayer or to praying, allow those to collapse right now. See this from a new perspective. Become the prayer and the blessing. That's all. This is being sovereign. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Just stay here and now. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. If you would like now to open your eyes, if there's anything you'd like to comment or ask or whatever or share, now would be the time for that. I'd like to inform you that from the 18th to the 22nd, we have the Ultimate Freedom program going. You can find more information on InPassionCoaching.com on the InPassion Creations tab. There you can also find information about the Be Beyond Illusion workshop that happens every other month. So last one was in May. This time it's on the 27th, 9:30 Portuguese group. And then at 2:30 English. It's only for 1 to 4 people. So it's a very personalized monthly workshop, 2.5 to 3 hours of expanding consciousness. It's happening this month on the 27th. And on the 27th, for the very first time, me and my dear friend Alexis Sersha from Slovenia, but currently living in Australia, are going to start our monthly webinar, show, whatever, called Living in the Flow, where we share our experiences of embodied realization, of living in the flow. That you can also find on the InPassion Creations tab. And another thing you can find on the InPassion Creations tab is that you know that I share a humongous amount of free content because I want to. But if you'd like to provide your energy exchange for that, and you like to give your contribution, there is a tab there where you can donate whatever amount you want for my free ebooks, for my videos, for my webinars, whatever. You will find it very easily in the InPassion Creations tab, where I am asking if you'd like to give me a gift. I'm available, as I am available to give you everything. That doesn't mean that you can't give me something in exchange. You see, and then this for sure brings up a lot of belief systems around the whole issue of money. So I leave you to that, to go into that, to dive deeper into that. And next month on the second Sunday, we will be here together again on the live Just Breathe. And each week, as you know, I am always sharing something within this theme. So I'd like to thank you again for being here. For providing your presence, which is also a precious exchange. But if I weren't providing the session, there wouldn't even be that. So it goes on and on in a circle. So I provide, you provide, I provide, you provide, we provide together. There's no separation. Thank you, Mateja. Thank you. Thank you to all of you here. It's been a pleasure to be with you on this sunny Sunday afternoon. Thank you, Serena. Thank you so much as well. Thank you, Doris. Thank you. As you know, this will remain available on YouTube then to be viewed. And you know, the thing that I am most passionate about is that we can all celebrate our ultimate freedom and enjoy it together and have fun with it, living a life where we can interact with each other without any victim abuser games, without any separation, just sovereign being to sovereign being. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Gregor and Margarita, Eda. Thank you very much. So, Ruth, thank you. Hello. I'm going to disconnect now. Well, just from this session, because of course I remain connected, as you do as well. And I'm hugging you really warmly and softly in this moment. Thank you. Oh, by the way, for those of you who would like to, for instance, not do the Ultimate Freedom next weekend, but eventually go through the InPassion Breath weekend experience online, in which you have 3 individual sessions with me, 2 with Joanna, 1 with Pedro, plus Qigong sessions, which is a really powerful opportunity to dive within. That is also available, the Passion Breath Weekend experience, very personalized, extremely personalized, or the My Own Silence retreat. So now that all of the situation has changed around the world, we have started providing these experiences online where you can be wherever you are, and we will connect with you at the given times where we have the sessions booked with you individually. So thank you, Katarina. So Serena, yes, you have, wow. Serena, you are just off the scales example of what is possible when you trust soul. Yeah. Thank you. So, bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you for all of you and for all that you are providing here on earth as standards of transformation, of possibilities, of love. Thank you.